All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts with John. Let's get it going here. We'll do our morning YOLO. Give you some time here to get caught up to it, but here we go. We're gonna go ahead and share my Crapsy screen. Remind you of the rules here. You got a few minutes to get going here, but the rules are this. You started with $100. If you're first day on, fine. Come on in and join the party here. There's your Crapsy code, by the way. It's up on screen. It is that H5, whatever, H5, H2, something or other. Put it out here so it's bigger. H5, H3, R2 is the code. Jump on in. The rule is this. If you're going to play along, just follow the rules. You got to be all in. That's the whole rule. You got to bet every dollar you got. You got to rail dump every single roll, no matter what happens. If it's a 7, it doesn't matter what the puck's doing. Every day, here's your rules. You got to rail dump your entire bankroll onto the table. After I make the roll, you got to pull all your money back. So if I look after the roll's over, I should see everybody's screen look like mine. There's no bets on the table. You cannot leave your bets up. In other words, you can't do a don't pass or a pass line bet, right? No contract bets. Get it all out there. I'm gonna do mine. I have 106. I'm gonna go with 96 across, like so, and I'm gonna go $2 on each of the hard ways, like so. And I've got $2 left that I will put on any 7, and that's it. I'm rail dumped. If we happen to 7 out here, I'm gonna win $8 or whatever the hell it is, and have to start over again from there tomorrow, right? So I'm gonna be in a world of hurt. We get a 7, but again, it's a YOLO. The whole point of this thing is to rail dump. So here we go. Press the button on the bottom right of your screen that says, you're ready to go, and this will turn green for me. And then I will go ahead and shoot. So we're gonna give you about 30 seconds or so to get your final bets in. And then I'm gonna clear the screen here and I'm gonna go ahead and roll the dice. And then I'll come back in here and type in the results. We can see how we're all doing. All right, this is day 2 of this thing. And there we go. Let's see, I've got some comments to highlight here too. So when we come back, we can talk about some fun stuff. All right, here we go. I'm gonna halt your betting and turn the bets off right now. Boom, you are now locked out, as you can see. No more bets. Let's turn that off. Now you can watch me roll. Here comes the dice. I'm gonna pick the color of money. I love my green dice. We're gonna get these reds out of here. There's the aces up. Let's go ahead. Dice are out. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. The YOLO for Tuesday. Please, Lord, let me make some money. Oh no. Oh no. It happens. It happens. Old Fatso throws a 7. So for those of you who are betting the any 7, you're still alive. Everybody else is probably out of money. You got to be a little bit smart. There's the 617. Let's go ahead and get this so you can see it. Ah, man, what a huge bummer. What a huge bummer. 617. There it is. I'm going to type it in, and my rack will be down to $8 now. Pardon me. Submit that in, and here we go. I lose everything. I win $8. I have $10. $10 in my rack, which means tomorrow I got to get to work from basically 0. Can I short stack this thing with $10 and make some money, right? Challenge for everybody. YOLOing is hard work. If we all go to 0, maybe we'll start over again. Jen hopped the reds. Good for you. Awesome, right? Smart play. Smart play. I was going to hop them for $5 each and then doing a cross bet. I had enough money to do that, but I thought, let me just go ahead and hit the right side. Too bad, so sad, we're all out of money, and that's kind of the way this thing works. So, yeah. With that said, good morning, everybody. Let me go ahead and actually, I got to close this window down here so we can get out of that. Good morning. Welcome to the Coffee and Crafts Show. I got a lot to talk about today. We are in the middle of, let's actually go to the thing. We're in the middle of a series here, we're starting a series. I just started yesterday, the United States of Craps. And I think this is going to be a fun one. I say this a lot. People say to me, how do you put a show on every day with craps? There's only so much you can do, right? Well, this is a fun idea that we had. I forget who even had the idea of doing the United States of Craps and just kind of making a strategy that's kind of, speaks to the vibe of a given state. That'll give us a lot of content, right? We can have some fun with it too. And I think it's a good chance for me, honestly, to get to know some more people. Excuse me. As we have subscribers and folks in our chat that are from the different states, I think it's going to be kind of cool to sort of, and we'll do it this week. We're going to bring Skill and we're going to bring Chiro on at some point to talk about their state, their strategies, and how they kind of approach things. And I think learn a little bit about the country and, and get some vibe. I think it's going to be a fun series. Anyway, here we go. Let's get started with the normal stuff first. So I got a couple things to highlight here. Not the YOLO. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. The switch to the dark side strategy for the daily paycheck. So, and again, the clock doesn't start. It's actually running. You just can't see it. For whatever reason, the clock had to click a button. There it goes. Okay. This is a strategy from Corey. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Excuse me. From Corey, Sith Lord Espy, otherwise known as the King of the Mountain King. He's won the King of the Mountain 8 times. And this is the way he plays it. Okay, this strategy works. It's a grinder, right? It's got a nice little home run built into it. As you know, it's a $100 don't pass. It's all the across bets. Set 2 DCs, turn the across bets off. It's really that simple. It's basically 2 hits on the right side and out. Let the 7 run. If it works out, you get 2 right side hits for $100. You get the 7 to come. That wins $300, and you're out there with 500. It works. If it works, it works. It's great. I've had trouble making it work out of the gate. It takes a minute to get itself going. I've been shooting, I hate to say this, okay, the last few weeks or whatever. So my rolls have been long, and I've been picking those don't pass, those don't come numbers off a little bit, which makes the strategy have to work a little bit harder to get through. But it's gotten through really without sweating. Even yesterday when we had a rougher run, I think, 30 or 40 rolls it took me yesterday to get through it. I never got below $1,000 in losses. And we took a whack, we took a second whack, we were down 750 or something, came right back and did its thing. It's a pretty resilient strategy. I like it. I made a tweak today in the after show. So we got to talk about what I'm doing there too. So I want to make sure that you're all clear on what's happening. I will run the strategy, whatever it's going to be, whatever the strategy is, I'm going to run it pretty mechanically until I make paycheck or lose the whole bankroll. Even when I go into bankroll builder mode, I'll run the same thing. I'll do a little bit of tweaking as I go, but by and large, the purpose of this show is to run a strategy as mechanically as I can and say, does the math of the strategy beat the math of the casino? And can the dice match up with it and make it work, right? That's the whole point. The whole point is not for me to go and see where it's taking me and try and move things around. We want to learn what strategies work best when they're run a whole bunch of times. That's the whole point of it. So that said, I made my paycheck, we celebrated, and I came back and I did a different version of the same strategy. I tweaked it and did a much more aggressive version of it just to see how it works, right? And I think there was some confusion about that. When I came back after the celebration, we're like, oh, why are you still playing? You should be out. It's paycheck. I'm like, yeah, right. I made paycheck, locked it up, and I'm mentally resetting. And let's try it again with a different option. And that's that second series was. So that brought up a couple of questions here. I'm going to bring the questions up right now. It looks like Corey, who is Sith Lord, and Darksider are talking. And Corey kind of answers a question from Darksider where he says, yeah, the strategy calls for both place bets to be removed when the DC or DP gets set. So once we set a point, right, point is 6, we pull the place bet 6 down. That's what Corey wants to do, right? The DC comes out, it goes to the 9, you pull the 9 bet down. The DC goes out again, whatever, you pull the bets down. I played it later in the second half of the show, the fun experimental time. I played it with leaving the place bets all up all the time. Okay. The advantage of that is this. I'll put Darksider's close. He says, what's better? Leave the place bets on all the time until they're all set, or remove them as they're getting set. Okay. There's no better, right? There is no better. There is only what the dice do. We have to remember that. It doesn't matter if you set a DC 9 and you pull the 9 down and you put a second DC bet in there and it picks the 9 off, you lose the 125. You lose whatever you had on the 9, right? If you left the 9 sitting there and you pick the 9, you lose what was on there, but you get paid on the bottom and it covers itself. That seems like an advantage to me. However, if you do that and you 7 out, you're losing the power of that 7 that you had set, right? Those bets cancel out. I personally, and we can look at the table real quick. We can go over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Personally, if you've got this going on, I'll just do a couple of bets here. Let's just do the 9 and the 10. Okay, we'll just pretend like they're all here, but let's just have 2. And the don't come comes out. And let's say the don't come goes to the 9, right? And that pays $105. Okay. Option 1 would be to say, well, take the 9 down, take the 75 that was there and make that the odds for the next one. Take this $100, we'll break it up like so, and have our next don't come bet come through. Now, the advantage here is that a 7 gets rolled. These two bets will cancel, right? This will lose, this will win, and you get paid on your odds. Essentially, you're playing for the odds at this moment, right? The other way to do that is to leave your bets up there, put this out in front, and have the next don't come bet come through. The advantage to this way of playing is this. If I happen to repeat the 9, well, what happens here? We lose the 125 as that don't bet travels, but you're going to win. Let's take it out of our losses. $105 on the way to being traveled. So you're net down $20. As you're traveling from here, that's what your risk ends up being on the repeat of the number, right? So there's no better or worse, right? This here, that setup, much cleaner, right? The 7 win is clean, right? A repeat of the 9 is clean. It's a clean win or a clean loss. This right here muddies the waters up. If you leave your money out here while you're coming through, it's muddy, but it covers you on the pick, right? And in some cases, you might have, you know, the puck is 8 here. You might have multiple don'ts out there. I did it like this to see how it would work, right? Is it okay to let this thing travel, let the payment happen as it comes up? And what you end up with in my scenario is this got paid, and let's say the 10, right? Let's say the 10 gets paid 100.5 coming through. Well, as these don't bets got set, and then when you're done, of course, they are all free. These were all paid for because you got paid as it got set. The don't pass or the don't come bets are actually completely paid for by the place win on it, which you can't get if those bets aren't working. So I like to keep them working on all the numbers as I'm coming through. I want to get paid as it gets set. And even if I got picked off earlier, getting paid the second time through helps cover that early pick. So what's better? There's no better. There is no better. The better thing is to be betting on the number that's rolling, right? That's it. The better thing is to not pick off your don'ts and to roll the 7 when they're all free. So that's it. I mean, there's pros and cons. I've played this thing where I don't do the place bets all the way across and it wins just fine. I've done it where I place them all across and it wins just fine. I've done it where both things are the worst thing you can do, where you're hitting opposite and you just get killed, right? Either way, there's no better. Probably you could say from a probability standpoint, from a ROI standpoint, you should never place the don't, right? That's not the smartest thing in the world to do. However, there's a point to doing it for the one roll, which is just to get that second bet out. I can be convinced either way. It doesn't matter. I won both ways, right? We want a paycheck Corey's way. We want a paycheck my way today. Doesn't matter, right? If you're rolling the dice where they got to be rolled, then you're going to be in good shape either way. So there's no better. There's just the way that speaks to you, I suppose is the way to say that. So, yeah, it definitely has some teeth. This is an interesting strategy. I like this one a lot. It's got teeth to it. Yesterday and today both, I rolled a small. I think yesterday, a tall today. I had 2 pretty good rolls. We picked off a bunch of don'ts and we still won money. Both days we picked off don'ts and won money. So to me, that's impressive. When you got stuff out there and you're picking yourself and you're still doing it, that's good stuff. The Horseman, same thing. The Horseman last week, picked ourselves off a few times, still comes roaring back and makes money. So I think it's pretty cool. There we go. Let's see what is next to talk about. Let's go here. Just a quick little set of announcements, the same old ones, right? Friday night fights. We have Nemo versus Nobo. Don't know who Nobo is. We'll find out on Friday, right? I got to remind you, by the way, Tales from the Table. If you haven't seen this yet, get over to Ed Robinson's Roll to Win channel. Check it out. Tales from the Table. He started with an interview with Howard Rock and Roller, and there's going to be a part 2 of that one. And boy, did Ed just say, boom, he cut that interview off like at the best part. I won't tell you what the cliffhanger is, but it's a story that I've been waiting to hear for years. I've heard different versions of the story that Howard's about to tell us about a relatively famous player who was a dice control camper, teacher, instructor, author, and then completely flipped it And it's like, it's all BS, you can't do it. I want to hear that story from somebody who was actually there and knew it. I can listen to these old coots, and I think I'm kind of an old coot, but I can listen to the old coots tell their stories all the time. Like, I've been playing craps for 30 something years, and I got a few stories. Greg's got a few stories. These guys have got, because they were a team, and they kind of did the traveling road show, teaching and playing, and they've got some interesting stories, and I could listen to them tell it all day long. So I think I'm so stoked that Ed's doing this already. Yes, Jen, that series started on Sunday. Go watch it. It's great. Ed does a great job with it. It's awesome. Go check it out. As I said before, we're in the middle of, or the beginning of, the United States of Craps. I'm starting right in the middle. Went right to Missouri, the show me state. We're showing me the money all week long. We're going to do some Missouri vibed strategies. I gave you a little bit of a history lesson of Missouri yesterday. We'll talk a little more today about the way that I kind of view that state and strategies from that state, and the skills give me some ideas. So we'll play with that a little bit today. And I want to remind you again, too, of our meetups, right? Coming to Seattle, September 15th through 17th. That's going to be our Seattle official meetup with Color Up. Jeremy from Color Up will be here. It's kind of a Color Up Northwest meetup is how we're going to be branding that thing. So we'll have Jeremy and a bunch of guys from the Color Up channel. You all, of course, are invited. We have some private tables reserved. We're going to get room rates at the local tribals for you. And we're going to have pizza and beer and whiskey at my house and play in the garage a little bit and, do some fun stuff. So there it's going to be. Sorry, I'm a young pup. I wish I was a young pup. I'm cresting 55 this year. So that's to me, that's like I'll tell you a funny story. When we came to Seattle, my wife and I got married in 94. We flew out here about a year later, 95. It must have been 95, 96. 96 it was, for her mother's 50th birthday. And she's since passed, but I'll never forget thinking, oh my God, that's so old. Like 50, she's 50. Like I remember like giving her the black, we decorated the room in black. She had a black cake and all that stuff. And she didn't look old, but I remember thinking to myself, holy crap, 50 is old. I can't believe your mom's 50. I remember saying that. Like we've known her for years, right? And now I'm 50 and I'm like, I don't feel very old. Like if you guys met me in person, I don't act old, right? I act pretty young, but it's a big number. 55 to me is a big freaking number. Anyway, so there, total sideshow. See you in Seattle for that. We're gonna have fun at my house. And again, Craps for the Cure in November. I can't wait for DiceCon actually in 2 weeks, in June. I'll be talking to David about Craps for the Cure, and I'll have a lot more details for you when we get back. I'll start getting the website set up. We're going to start getting, so if you have auction items, by the way, think about auction items like we did last year, that you might have some cool memorabilia, whatever. Think about it now. We'll start getting that up. I know like Tito does artwork. I know Zaf does great photography. Things like just different things will be really cool. So if you've got some ideas for that, obviously open for it. Now, let's jump back into the United States of Craps and talk about that state, the state of Missouri. The show me state, show me the money. Right? Skill's always saying everything he does now. Show me the don't. Show me the whatever, right? I want to show you a little video here. This is what I was alluding to yesterday. And whenever I think of Missouri, I think of sports. Obviously, I'm a sports guy, right? The Royals. And I have a love-hate with the Royals, right? I hated the Royals, of course, when the Phillies played them in the World Series. But the Royals team of a few years ago, love that team, by the way. The Kansas City Royals from a few years back that won it all. What a great team. Like I coached baseball most of my life, played baseball, and I'm a small ball coach. We get them on, get them over, get them in. We'd work our way to first base. We'd steal our base. We'd have a bunt, get into third base, sack fly. That's how we played. Manufactured runs all the time. That's because we didn't have huge hitters. And so I kind of learned to coach that way. That's how the Royals played a few years back. Remember that team? They were such a great small ball chaos kind of a team. I loved that team. They were great. We're rooting for them pretty hard. The Cardinals, by the way, another one of those teams that's like just timeless. The Cardinals are just, when you think baseball, you think St. Louis Cardinals. You can't not think St. Louis Cardinals, right? That's just, to me, there's the baseball and I know some people say the Yankees. To me, the Cardinals are baseball. Like the Cardinals are baseball. So when I think of Missouri sports, I think of Lou Brock stealing 1 billion bases, right? I think of that kind of baseball. And both those teams speak to me. I think of football and I go back to the 70s and I go back to Hank Stram. And let's take a look at my favorite Hank Stram clip. Here we go. I hope you can hear this. Will it play? Oh no, I went a screen too far. Let's do it again. Hope you can hear that. I love that. Did it play or not? Maybe it didn't play. Do I do? Sound. Hear that? I'm not sure if you heard that or not. I want to get that. I don't know if you heard that. It's hard to tell with my software if that was coming through or not. Anyway, that's Hank Stram saying, "Come on, guys, matriculate the ball down the field," and that was in the Super Bowl when they played the Vikings. Which I love that quote because it's to me it's that Missouri grind. It's like we're just gonna, I guess Pete Carroll's kind of famous for the 3 yards in a pound of dust or whatever, but the Len Dawson Chiefs, that's how they played. Even the current Chiefs. I know the current Chiefs get this misconception that they're this high flying, right? They score a butt ton of points, but they aren't winging bombs down the field, right? They are Andy Reid screen pass, right? Screen pass, run, yak, right? That's how that team wins. And it's the grind. It's the Missouri grind. I think that to me is exemplifies the state. All the sport teams play that way. I think Craps from Missouri, knowing skill and knowing Chiro, it's the way it's played. So with that said, I want to go to the table and I want to play the Missouri grind. We're going to do some more Skill 66 today. And I want to talk a little bit about options off the 66. I think the 66, we did it yesterday pretty straight up. I'll do it straight up again today, but I want to give you all some options. So let's go back over there and we'll play it out. I'm going to switch to this view here. We should have a little better lighting today, I hope. There it is. Table should be well lit, and hopefully I made a change to the way that the lights are in here, so hopefully you should see it. Oh, wow. Old number 7. You played gin with Brett and Ozzie Smith. How cool is that? That's amazing. Ozzie Smith. How do you forget the backflip of Ozzie Smith, man? My God. And yeah, Lou Brock, so fast he could blow out a candle out in bed. That's amazing. No, you think about some great baseball stories. If you've never played baseball, you won't believe that this is a true thing. But, back in the day, obviously, and they still use wooden bats, right? I forget who it was. Was it Gary that said this? I forget who said this now. I should know the quote. But on a foul ball of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, you can smell the wood burning on the bat. Like the guys swing the bat, they're swinging so hard and the pitch is coming in so fast, you can smell the wood burning off the bat. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. Like there's like little baseball things you just don't think about. And like Lou Brock being that fast. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's do a little Skill 66 action. I'm going to show you some variations of this thing that I like to play. And I actually did one for a paycheck once, but here we go. I'm actually short money. There's 65. There's 66 bucks. I got 655 in the rack. So let's get this set up. I'll do it ahead of time. We'll do 3 units on each number. So 66 inside is the basics of Skill. And why is this even a thing? Well, here's the reason. You got most of the combinations covered here. You got 10 ways to win the 6 or 8. 5 ways for the 6, 5 ways for the 8, 4 ways each for the 5 and 9. That's 18 ways, right? My math, 5, 10, 14, 18 ways. There's 36 ways to roll the dice. Half of them are right here. This is a 50-50 shot at getting a hit, which is the reason why the inside bet is such a popular thing in craps, right? The thing that makes this strategy kind of special is the way that Dylan has us pressing them up. You're going to get paid $21 on a hit. You're going to drop a buck, which makes 22, and you press them each by $5, making it look like 88 inside, okay? I'll just put them in front here so you can see it, like so. We press them up. Any one of those things hits, it pays $28, and you're bringing all this down. You're bringing all this back. You're bringing your press back. You're going to drop these guys down to 44, and lo and behold, you've got your $66 back. Okay, that second hit, there's 25, there's 50, 65, $66. There's the extra dollar you had to throw on top, and here's $5 in profit. It's a beautiful system, right? 2 hits, and if you actually pull this down, and I like to play it, I pull it down. If you pull it all back to your rack, guess what you got? You got 25, 50, $65, $67. That was your initial. And you've got 25, 50, $4 in profit, right? How about 2 hits and $50? I'll take 2 hits and $50 all day long. To me, that's a good exchange. I like the fact that I got $50 to play with afterwards. I think it's pretty cool. Now, you can play it like that. 2 hits and out, 2 hits and out, over and over and over again. I've done this quite a few times actually at the casino where I've done 2 hits and out, and it's not cared, right? You get some fear of missing out, sure, but 2 hits and out of the hand and count your $50 ain't a bad way to make a paycheck, right? If I got $1,000 my bankroll's $1,000 and I want to win 10%, I got to do that twice and I'm done. That's my paycheck, right? If I'm looking to win 10%, $100, I pull that move off 2 times and I'm out, man. I can be done. I also think it's kind of cool to do this. And here's what I was doing. I told you the story a while back. Start on the don't and play it like a little 6, 7, 8. Let's check this out. I'm going to do this little bit of an option for you. There's a 6, 4, 10. That's actually pretty perfect, right? It goes to the 10. Now let's go ahead and grab a couple inside numbers. If we can get 2 insides and pull, quote unquote, the move off, check out what could happen for us. This is like a little baby version of what we just saw in the paycheck. There's the 8. It pays $21. We're going to drop the buck out of the rack. Okay, we're going to press it up to 88 inside. And now we need a second hit. We need a second inside hit if we can get it. There's the aces, which don't matter. There is a 6, which does matter. That's perfect, right? Again, it pays $28. We know this. And I'm going to pull it down. $28, and I'm going to come down. Check it out. I'm going to leave the 66 sitting here. I want you to see this. There's the $66. Matter of fact, I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, we'll say, instead of saying down, we're going to say off. Turn my bets off. Bring me that at 66 inside. Turn the bets off. What's coming back to my rack? Okay, what's coming back? 25, 45, $50. Booyah, right? There's my $50 in profit, which is great. I'm going to bring it back to myself as greens. And there we go. We locked up $50. We're halfway to paycheck. This is out here, and that's still sitting there, right? A little baby switch to the dark side, right? That $50 could be used right now to bridge that 10, right? I can reinvest the $50 on the 7. Grab my odds with it. That's not a bad play to make, right? I could leave the $50 in my rack and enjoy it. I could break the $50 up into 10s and do a little come progression. I got $50 here to play with or keep to myself. The beauty of this strategy is that when it works out, like it just did, you can do whatever the hell you want to with it. We can just do this, right? I did this in Philly the last time I was up there. I haven't done this here locally yet because I've been trying other things out, but when I was in Philly, I did this and I made all sorts of money. I just sat up there and again, you're gonna get some of this. You're gonna have a guy that rolls 20 while you're waiting for the inevitable to happen here. There's a 2, there's a 9. We'll just roll it out until it completes. There's a 6. And again, we're not getting paid in here, but we don't care, right? Your disciplined play. There's another 9. Is that 3 9s? Might be 3 9s. That's pretty good there, Johnny. Another 9, 6. Oh, look at that. Another 9. Fear of missing out. Oh my God. This actually is very reminiscent. The guy that I was playing with in Philly when I was doing this strategy here, I think he rolled a pile of 9s and I missed out on it. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. But I had, at that night, I knew I had 4 hours to kill. I was at that table. I knew we were going to be there for hours. And, oh, look at that. We picked ourselves off the 10. So we lost it, right? What did we lose, though? $25, right? We lost $25. Big freaking deal. We're back out here at 66. And, yeah, you can throw a quarter out here again to try that don't. That don't is a better bet than what it showed there, right? That whole thing cost us a quarter, right? But we were looking to win an extra quarter, right? So you risked whatever to win an extra $25. Let's do it again. We're on or we're off. Let's catch a point. And we'll do a 9. Boy, the 9 is smoking hot. I'm scared of the 9 right now. There's the 9. We'll take that off. Let's pull the move off again. Can we pull the move off again? There's an 8, a 6, 2, 8. Again, $21. We'll drop a buck. Make it look like 88. Let's make the move happen. There's a 4. Not on the 4. This is the one danger of the inside stuff, right? You get some crazy outside plays. There's an 8. Perfect. 5, 3, 8. And again, the net's going to be take me back to 66, turn the bets off, and we already know what's going to happen. We're going to make $50. We're going to get $28, 25, $28. The bets go off. $50 back to the rack. I'll put the reds here. We'll put the whites back in the back. And there's our $100 that we had to leech into for this. Now we have a choice, right? Do you want to go ahead and odds up the 9? You want to get a couple of come bets going? You want to sit there and count your money? You can even switch if you want to something different. We can go even numbers, right? We can switch all the way. Instead of keeping the 66 out here, we can actually pull this down. I'm going to pull it down just to kind of keep the bets more visible in the rack so you can see them. We can take that $50 that we just won, and let's go ahead and grab the 4, 6, 8, and 10. And take a quarter out of here. For 12 on the 6 and 8, $1 to the rack, and take the other $25 that we just pulled off the table, and we'll take hardways with it. And we can actually go out there and play with $5 change, a little bit of hardways action, right? And there's some locked up profit. Let's see if we can take the $44, right? And go 44, 54, 64. We're out there for an extra $10. It cost me $10 to make this play, right? And again, pick the point. Tell you the 9. I know people say trends are bullshit and they ain't real, but I'm telling you what, I rolled like 11 9s here. Sometimes numbers just come in bunches and you can't predict it, right? There's no math behind that. There's no science behind that. It just freaking happens. You get into these weird variants where numbers are showing like crazy. You know what I'm saying? But let's not go back to the dome, right? Let's not go back. We used our 66 inside move to make this move, and now we're switched over. There's a come out 7. We don't care. There's a 4 for the point. Again, we don't care about the point so much because we're not playing the line here. But let's just get some of these inside plays to hit. And there's a hard 6. There's a hard 6. That's pretty awesome, right? That's going to pay $14 on the place bet, right? And 9 to 5 is $45 up there, so $45. We'll leave that up. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do this with it. We're going to hammer them a little bit, right? We'll take the quarter back to the rack. That covers our last don't pass loss. We'll put some of this back in the rack, and I might even half press that number that came, like so. Okay? Reinvest a little bit. Let's play it out. There's a 7. So what? So what? The Missouri grind, right? You're going to take your wins, regress, reinvest, take a little bit of profit back. I think we ended up okay there. We're not going to make a lot of money, right? But we're grinding through it, and we have ability to keep playing. Let's turn that off. Come right back out. Here's our 66 that we pulled off the table the last time, right? I'll keep doing this. 66, 66, and a quarter. New shooter. Let's do it. Let's do it. We got a 5. We got a 5. Let's take that 5, put the puck to it. Let's pull the move off again. There's a yo, 11 yo. Doesn't matter. Not on it. Not on it. There's an 8 hard. 4, 4. There's the hard 8. You know the move, right? Simple move. There's 21. There's 1. Looks like 22 pressure. And there we are. Second inside hit, please, sir. There's another 8. The 8 repeats. That's fantastic. Okay. Let's take these. We'll take the profits down. Make me look like 66 inside, please. Forgot a nickel there. There's $28. I'll take these whites, make them a nickel. I'll take my nickels and the green back to the rack. Now what I'm going to do here, turn the bets off. We have a $25 don't pass. We're on the 5. The bets are off. We don't care, but we can do a little horseman, right? Let's switch out of the 66 and move into a horseman. And it's a good one. It's a 2-to-1 level horseman, right? We get a quick 7 in here like we just did. right? And we steal 10 bucks. Sorry, in the come. We steal 10 bucks on the way out. Boom, boom, and look at that. The 66 pattern works out. Let's go ahead and color these greens up to a black. There is the 600 bucks, right? We started with 660 and change. Here's our 66. So 600, there's the 66, and here was the extra 5 whites that I had to make my extra bets. There's my starting bankroll, 600, 66, and the 5 whites, 5 whites, which means all of this, we profited. And we got spanked a few times. There's 25, 50, 70, 74 bucks in profit. And we got spanked. We got spanked on the don't a couple times. We lost all of our bets that one time on the second run, right? And we're doing fine. We're doing just fine. I think this is a fun way to play. It's safe, right? It's the Missouri grind. It's matriculate the ball down the field. It's 10 bucks, 5 bucks. You're relatively safe the whole time, and you're kind of working both sides of it. I think this is a jamming way to play. Let's do it again, right? New shooter. We'll do it one more time. And again, we can do whatever you want to coming through. There's a 617, so we're going to burn a little bit of our profit from before, which kind of sucks. There's a quarter. You want to play this don't pass on a little bit of a ladder? You sure can. Little Dolly Latterson down there never hurt nobody, right? There's, oh boy, back-to-back spankies on the don't. That's not good. I don't want to see that. Let's go ahead and break 100. Ooh, that's scary. That's a little scary. I don't like doing that. 100 bucks down there. We'll go 10 bucks now. We'll Latterson up by 5 bucks each time. Another 7, 3 in a row. Oh my gracious. Darksider's yelling at me right now. I can't see the screen. That dude's coming through the screen saying, get the F off this table. Run for your freaking life. 3 don't pass losers in a row. I don't care. I'm going to about 45 bucks or 40 bucks. We're doing it. We're gonna bucket. We're gonna bucket. We're gonna make all kinds of money here. We got an 8. We're gonna lose that one too. We lost 3 in a row in the come out. Now we set an 8. How much you want to bet we lose this? Right? John overstaying is welcome. That's the story of my life. There's a 7. So we're gonna win 40 bucks down here. We're gonna lose 66 up here. Our net is minus $26. Okay, which ain't great. But if I take 26 out of the rack and say same bet up here, we're going to be same bet up there, and I can pull these back in. All right. Actually, I need to take that 40 plus the 26. So it goes back to the bank. We're back set. 40 bucks on the don't. We're going to drop that into 35. Right. We're going to reduce down the ladder. Let's play it out. Come on. Come on, baby. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Look at me go. Look at the Missouri grind getting destroyed right now. Wow. Now we're in donation mode. We're in donation mode. Can we come back from this? Can the Missouri grind, the skill 66 come back? We have to go back up to 40 now. Look at me destroying that don't pass on the come outs. There's another 8. All right, let's make this work. Let's make this work, right? We're on the 8. Bets are on. Let's go. Let's make the move. Let's make the move happen. That's the whole point of this thing, right? It's the move. We lost, what, 4 of those? There's the 5. $21. Let's pull the move off. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to drop my buck. Or did I? I forget if I dropped it or not. I think I did. I think I didn't pay back here. Drop the $1. Let's make the move. Give me a non-8 inside hit. There's a 6. Right? That's awesome. We know, right? Pays 28. We're going to come down. We can turn those bets off. We can make a decision. Okay, we know we're bringing back 50 bucks. Matter of fact, I'm going to take the reds and the whites. I'm going to bring back 50 bucks. We're going to put this back over here and start rebuilding my little stat. The Missourians are going, oh my God, you're losing money. Let's rebuild. There's 500 bucks over there. There's a quarter. There's a bunch of randomness over here. We're fine. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? We're fighting the 8 with 40 bucks. That's fine. Okay. We have inside action if we want it. We can spread out the 64 across and half press. We have lots of options here, right? Why don't we do that? Why don't we spread out to 64 across? Like so. We'll take $2 more back to the rack. And this time we're going to turn the 66 to 88. We're going to rack some money, and we're going to go to 64 across. We'll leave it right there. Okay? Let's half press our way. We can take the 8 down. Now's the time where you take down your don't. Let the don't pass be its thing. If you want to, with 40 bucks there, grabbing a $5 hard 8, basically is you're giving away $5 to wash that out. You have 4 ways to lose now. Let's just play it out and see what happens. 4-2-6. Okay, this is the whole point. Skill likes to say, well, you're going to be here with that, pull that move off so that you can do this. Now we're going to go ahead and run the half press on all the numbers, and let's just rack money. Can we rack enough money to recover where we got beat? I'm going to take 10 bucks out of the whites here because I need them in the bank. Quick little check change. Here we go. Let's make that money. Let's have a good little roll here. There's an 8. That's a huge bummer, right? And it came easy, so we lose 50 bucks, right? That's a bummer. Don't pass has turned away from me, so we're not going to come back to it. That puck's going to be off. We're not going to let this guy beat us a second time. Play up here, nice and clean. There's a 6 for the point. I'm going to go ahead and grab the 8, make my across bet complete. We'll call it here. Whatever happens here is going to happen. There's a yo 11. I thought that was going to be the bad number, the way they were rolling. There's a 5. Awesome. We'll do, again, 14 bucks. I'm going to half press it, so we'll take 1 unit out of there. Grind it away, right? Matriculate the ball down the field. We'll just take our wins as they come here. We'll do 15 for 1. Single unit press, and now the presses become a little bit better the higher those things get. There's a 4. Yeah, baby. 314. That's going to pay 18 bucks down the end. Half press looks like 10, so we could buy it for 20. There's the VIG. We'll buy it for 20. There's a 4 that pays. Look at this, 25. 20 pays 40. I'm going to half press that. So half of 40 is another 20. It's going to look, we'll make it look like an even 40 bucks. And again, I got to drop $2 for VIG on that one. Looks like 40, pocketing 20. Half press is so powerful. Half press is like, I think it's better when you started higher, but boy, it works well. Again, 18 bucks down here, right? 10. There's the 18. Same thing, make it look like 20. We'll buy it for 20. There's the VIG. Back to the rack we go. I'm gonna get these out of here because again, I'm running low. 50 bucks. Let's go. 7 out. That roll had to end at some point. Let's look at where we got to though, right? Let's count it up. We lost a bunch in that don't pass. That don't pass was kind of a killer. There's 15 bucks, 17 bucks. There's 575, almost 600 bucks. So we started with 670. We had 660 plus, or 665 we started with. We had 660 plus 5. We have 575, 592. So we lost about 80 bucks, roughly, 70, 80 bucks. With all the whacks we took in here, that ain't bad, right? And actually, if you take a look at what's out here, right, had you done a, scared money, let's pull it all back to the rack kind of thing, look at where we are. Here's 100 bucks. I want to show you this. This is kind of cool, actually. There's 100 bucks. 100, 25, 40. If you pulled it all down, because it's good to see where you would have been, right? There's your 50. Look at us here. There's 600. Let's say 675 is a starting bankroll. We had worked our way back to profit, right? We were down because of the don'ts. Had we pulled it all back down, that's extra money there, we'd have been back to profit land, right? That's a cool little thing, right? A little safety move in here. Up and down, up and down, up and down, 50 bucks. You can play the don't, you can bridge the don't, you can add extra odds. We did a horseman one time. This 50 bucks that you earn from in here can lead you in a bunch of cool directions. And that's why I like that move. I think that 66 move is such a cool thing to do. And if you watch me play any of these tournaments, I'm not a very good tournament player, but one of my favorite moves is this one. I like to do the skill 660, where I go 150, 150, and 180 on the 6 and 8. I'll do this at some point in almost every tournament match that I play. I'll do a skill 660, like so. And here's how this works, right? This is a great thing. If it works, there's a 3. Let's see if I can make it work. Let's see if I can get lucky here and make this thing work in the tournament setting. Well, there's a 7. So let's pretend that didn't happen. Another 660 goes out of the rack. Let's keep track of that. There's a 10. Okay, here we are. Now the bets are on. And we got a 6. Okay, so the 6 pays 210. $210. We drop 10, and it's a 220 pressure. We go to 880 inside, right? So these all come down. It looks like this. Check this out. 800. We'll do 40. And 40. Why can't I count today? There we are. Oh my gracious, John, with your awful chip handling. I want you to see what happens here. You can predict in chat what's going to be if I pull this off, what's the profit? If I pull this move off, which I just did, there's the 8, right? What's the profit in here? Because that's going to pay 280, 275, 280. Remember, I started out with 660. There's 2, 4, 650. There's 660. Actually 670 because I had to drop 10 bucks. There's my starting, right? What comes home off of that deal? Check this out. 75. Look at that. 475, 490, right? Basically 500 bucks, right? You pull the skill 660 off, that's $500, right? I like to do this in tournaments. Start off with a skill 660, start out 500 bucks ahead, and I can play the rest of the game on that 500 bucks and leave my starting bankroll in the rack, right? And kind of wear somebody down. That's a cool way to do it. The skill 66 at big money, that's a meaningful win. That's a very meaningful win. I like that. I like it a lot. So there's the Missouri grind. There it is. There's the matriculate the ball down the field. There's win 10 bucks at a time and love it, right? Win your 10 bucks and be happy with it, right? Do the thing, come out of it and be stoked that you're winning that 50 bucks and you can reinvest the 50, right? Odds on the don't. You can turn the $50 into come bets. You can turn the 50 bucks into a school of hard knocks. You can do all sorts of things with that money. That gives you the option to kind of bounce around. And I think that, to me, that really speaks to, like I said, the vibe of that state is very much a gateway state. You start here, you move into Missouri, you move out, you take Route 66 and off you go into some other part of the country. It's like you're starting out right side, you take a little bit of action in there on the right side and you get the hell out and you move on. I think that really does speak to the state. And I think it's the perfect strategy to describe Missourians. So there it is, guys. It's time to go. I think that was a fun little session. I like the strategy. I've always liked the skill 66. I love skill. I love Chiro. Look for if we can do it Thursday. Let's have them both on, and we'll talk about the state. We'll talk about the strategies tomorrow. What I want to do. Let me switch screens. Tomorrow, what I want to do is work through some other options. I think that we have some other ways to play that are very Missouri grindish kind of thing. But in the meantime, let me take a look here for another PCs. Whoa. Oh yeah, Skill, you're right. I can't forget about the greatest show on turf. And the best thing about that team, by the way, I hope the DGen's out here. I was rooting so hard for that team because Dick Vermeil, right? As a born and raised Philadelphian, when I was, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, Dick Vermeil was our coach in Philly, right? He was the guy that turned the Eagles around from being a complete joke into really, since the 80s, being in the conversation every year. Dick Vermeil did that. Nothing but respect for that man. And I was so happy when that team won. And the Kurt Warner story, holy crap, right? You ever watch the documentary on Kurt Warner's life story, him and his wife, and what they went through? Being a bag checker, being in the AFL, and oh my God, what a great story. So yeah, thanks Skill for reminding me that. That's another awesome story. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it against all the roles we have that we've, between us, we've compiled a bunch of roles. I will do it to see what's the better play. And you're talking way back in the conversation about keeping the place bets all the way on all the time until you get the don't set, or pulling them down when the don'ts come to it. and run it side by side on the same number of rolls. I think it all comes down to, again, what the dice are doing at the moment. Sometimes you're going to win on those things and it's going to save your ass. Sometimes it's better to keep them clean. Generally speaking, I like to say I'd rather play it by going commando. I'd rather have clean bets most of the time. In this one, it feels like that cycle wants them to be there. But yeah, I'll run it out there for sure. And Darksider, more things, is a smart skill 66 is get your inside hits within 3 rolls. If not good, yeah, you're right. That's interesting, right? If you don't get it within 3 rolls, bump down to table minimum and go from there and call it good. Because sometimes chasing that second inside hit can take 6 rolls, 7 rolls, and you're really going after it. No, I was not a fan of the Blues. I've never been a Blues fan, except for one player. There's a guy that played for the Blues that was from Mill Creek, Washington. I rooted for him a little bit, but that's it. That's it. Skill from, it's not scared money. It's playing thrifty. I know. I like to say that. It is thrifty, right? 66, 88, $5 in profit. What are you going to do? Right? I'd like to pull the money back. I like going down and taking that $50 profit and letting it sit in my rack. I think if I'm going to be on a grind, I'll take $50 every time. I'll grind that out all freaking day. I love that. All right, let's get out of here, guys. My final thoughts as the puck goes away and we color up. I love the skill 66. I know that some people say it's a fool's errand. Right side's broken, elephant graveyard, all those things, right? It's hard to get to inside hits. I've done the 66 as a paycheck and I failed at it because it is hard to get 2 hits on the inside. When the dice are in your favor and you're getting in that streak where you're getting that, the strategy is brilliant. And if you're going to just do it the simple way, which is 66 to 88, rack the 50, and you lose a couple, you're losing $16 net every time the transaction works and doesn't work. It's a $16 go. If you add the don't to it and you win that don't a couple times, it starts making up for that. And before you know it, the Hank Stram way of playing, I think, works out. It's one of the few inside plays that I trust because it's so short-lived. And it's one of the few switcheroo kind of plays that I think it's a good jumping point to do a switcheroo strategy. So I'm a big fan. And of course, you know, I love skill. And I'm a big fan of him in general and of Chiro, right? I think these 2 guys couldn't have picked 2 better people to represent the state. So there it is. Tomorrow we're going to go for a ride on Route 66. We're going to do some sightseeing. We're going to do some different plays that are still grindy, that are still a little bit hedgy, and that still give us trampolining into different ways of playing, but we're going to take some other looks at it besides the 66. So tomorrow, that's what's happening. And maybe Thursday we can get them both on. We'll see if we can get schedules to work out. I'll be emailing them today. In the meantime, have a good Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It's 9 o'clock. Y'all have a good one. And again, I say it every day. Love you. God bless you. Appreciate you all more than you know. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. I'm out.